So everybody knows here that we don't like the ATF. I think that's putting it very nicely. For those of you who don't know, maybe you're new here, no big deal. The ATF is an organization that has a main goal of with our Second Amendment. That's all they do. And they had a little bit of a show and tell the other day. Pretty much that's all I can explain it as. And they decided to have an ATF expert. Remember, this is an expert. Go through a couple of different weapons and they explain what they do, why they try to regulate them. And why don't we just watch? Because this is astounding. The fact that they have this little knowledge on firearms is just beyond me. If you're an organization who is trying to regulate something, you better be a goddamn expert about it. And if you're not, I was gonna say nobody's gonna respect you, but nobody already does. So why don't we just watch?
Weapon, shoulder fired, that is covered under the purviews of the National Firearms Act. So this is a AK-47, and what they have done is they have attached a bump stock to that.
How can you tell that? Sorry, where's the bump stock? Is there like a physical piece?
But that's a great question, right? Of course, right? How can you tell,
Yeah.
right? These two things are the same.
They look, right.
They operate the same. Both of them can shoot right through this 75-round clip.
Sir, could you repeat that really quick?
Both of them can shoot right through this 75-round clip.
Okay, so you're the ATF director and you just called a magazine a clip. It would be like somebody working at a grocery store calling a legitimate magazine that you open and turn over a bag clip, like a chip bag clip. And this dude is making the decisions on what rules they make to regulate us, yet you're calling something that's a magazine a clip. Why don't you focus less on your suits and more on how firearms actually work? How about we do that? Could you do that? No, of course you can't.
Congress determined back in the 1930s that short-barreled rifles, which were both smaller than a certain length and were designed to be fired from the shoulders, that combination made it unusually dangerous.
Unusually dangerous. Okay. Do they do the exact same thing? We're talking about inches here, right? So taking a rifle that is 16 inches versus one that is 14 or 12 inches. A couple of people could argue that the 16-inch is more dangerous because it has more time to travel through the barrel, thus leading to a higher velocity of the round. So when you say, oh, well, they're more dangerous, you're just thinking of the concealability aspect of it. But ultimately, if somebody wants to go commit a school shooting, do they really care about concealability? Do you think all these gangsters who are shooting people up every night in downtown Chicago or St. Louis, do you think they care about concealability? But these are unusually dangerous for Mr. Dettelbach.
For all intents
They
and purposes.
look the same.
Right? And so we're treating them the same. That's all that that rule says.
I just have a question. This is kind of interesting. So this obviously is the ATF director to our left, Dettelbach, whatever the other guy is an ATF expert on weapons, or what they call an expert. Does the woman that they're explaining all this to look educated, or does she look confused?
For all intents
They
and
look
purposes.
the same.
Right? And so we're treating them the same. That's all that that rule says.
I would say she looks extremely confused. That should be worrisome to people, because if you're the director of regulating firearms in the country and then another expert, and the person you're teaching is like, I don't know, those two look the same. It all looks the same to me. You're not doing a good job. And then we've got our favorite part of this.
Chris is here. He's one of our leading experts.
So that's the frame.
How can you call yourself an expert and not know how to take down a simple Glock? I mean, what do you have to say about that, man? You got 15 years of experience in the ATF, but everyone knows what that translates to. That means sitting on a computer all day, not dealing with firearms and just searching for people who are making purchases online. That's what your experience is in. It's not an actual firearm. But for a demonstration that you knew you were going to be a part of, I don't know, maybe you could have practiced a little bit. It's embarrassing, man. Everybody, a big thank you to Blackout Coffee for sponsoring today's video. Most of you are customers. As you know, I am a huge fan of their product. My favorite by far is Brutal Awakening. On the flavored side, cinnamon French toast, a must try. But big news on the Blackout front. Their investment opportunity is open again. You can become a part owner of Blackout Coffee. All of the details are going to be in the link below the video. This time around, they wanted to make sure that everybody, no matter what your income level is, can become a part owner of Blackout. So regardless of if you decide to join or not, there's always a discount code for some amazing coffee. Now, if him trying to take a Glock apart wasn't funny enough, what is one of the first rules of firearm safety? Treat every firearm like it's loaded. Another one would be, do not point a firearm at anything that you're not willing to destroy. Now, the reporter, or whoever this person is in a blue suit, clearly does not know much about firearms. No problem, maybe you're just not into them, no big deal. You're not the one trying to ban them all. But her not being educated on them means that she's probably going to make a clear mistake when she's handling one. Now, this ATF expert has proven that he does not know how to handle a firearm himself, but he is gladly willing to let an untrained person point a gun at his head and smile and laugh.
That is the patron saint of the narcotics traffickers in Mexico.
There's a patron, there's a patron saint of drug traffickers?
Yes, that is something that they do follow, some of them, yes.
So I just want to make sure I understand. What this video is telling people is that the ATF is not trained in weapons, and they also are a fan of having guns pointed directly at their face. And these are the people who are trying to regulate our firearms.